Good evening, everybody. This is your old Uncle Hunter, and I'm here with my partner, or one of my partners in crime, Scott. Scott, how you doing, sir?
Good. I just got like goosebumps with that intro, Hunter. You're just nailing it over there.
Oh, what can I say, man? It's
It's
just
just a
like
gorgeous voice.
I try. Oh, by the way, the my wifey Scarlett Johansson says hi to you and Brittany. She says you hope you're doing well.
Okay, alright.
Don't
Okay,
know.
Hunter.
Don't know why I threw that out there. Just like I had a moment, it's like, man, Scarlett Johansson. I was married to her. I would even take her last name. That's how much I love Scarlett Johansson.
Oh boy, it's starting early, isn't it?
Yeah, Well, considering what we're about to talk about,
Yeah, true.
so uh, guys, thank you so much. We went ahead and just uploaded a bunch of new reviews. We have a review up for Ant-Man, a review up for The Loft, ugh, and then we have reviews up for Suicide Squad trailer, and then Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice Comic Con trailer. So go ahead and listen to those. Let us know what you're thinking about those. We'd love to get your feedback. And right now, we're about to talk. We're about to talk.
Is that a laugh or a cry or
A little
both?
both, actually.
Okay.
So, did you see the original Paul Blart?
Unfortunately, I did not.
Really? Okay. So we actually went and saw it like in theaters. Actually, okay. Like uh, me, my mom, Mama Hunter, or Byron, our dad, and then Beth, Baby Hunter. And I want to say it was before Cameron moved out there. I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyways, I remember we saw it in theaters, and I remember just being like, "Look, I mean, is it good? No, it's really not." But I don't know. Like, it just didn't. Stuff like certain things will just upset you, and then just
Hmm.
other things you're just like so like you're just kind of like I don't care enough to even hate you. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, totally.
That's exactly what this was. What the first Paul Blart was. Now the second one, I have some issues with it. Surprisingly, I so
Do
so
you now?
yeah. So let's hop into this. So this is another thing. So the first Paul Blart came out in 2009. So it's been 6 years since this shit. It came out January 16th, 2009. This came out in theaters April 17th. So almost six. So over 6 years, right? And this is the thing. I mean, you look at something like a toy, and I know everyone's like, "What? You're comparing to Toy Story?" Hear me out. Um, the gap between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 was like 10 years, right? But they clearly took time, to write a story and a script, and
Oh, you think they were doing things for this movie from the time in
no.
between?
But that,
No
but
way.
that's
They
my,
were.
but that's my point though. It's like
No, totally.
because like, look, me and you, we did a review for that one Kevin James movie, Here Comes the Boom. Do you remember that? We saw that where he was a teacher and he fought MMA. Do you remember that?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Did you
It might
not?
have been
Maybe I watched that
no,
with
probably
Colin, but
Colin. Yeah.
I remember watching that. I'm like, you know what, Kevin James, like when he has a decent script, he's actually kind of charming. I was like, okay. But then I remember me and you, and I know we saw this for a fact here. We saw Zookeeper, and we were just like, God damn it,
Oh, yeah.
this guy just doesn't give a shit. And that's the thing with Kevin James, because if you watch The King of Queens, it's not a good show. I mean, his wife's hot, which is always Leah Remini, who's always great, and Patton Oswalt's on there, and the Black Friend. But I mean, like not a great show. But I mean, he did Here Comes the Boom, which was good, and then he. Oh god, is there another Kevin James movie that's decent? I think that's the only one.
I
Oh,
don't.
Hotel Transylvania, but he does a voice in that. So if you count that, yeah. But you know, so going into this, I was like, okay, it's been 6 years. Maybe they're taking some time on that script, and just trying to make this the biggest surprise of the season. Scott, this is so
Was
you
this the biggest surprise of the
so
season?
since you didn't see the first one, I would just like to get your thoughts on this. Like, what's the synopsis on this? What would you say this is about?
Uh, I would say that Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is about Paul Blart, who is a mall cop, uh, and he's in Vegas for this one. Um, Vegas probably sponsored this movie, uh,
Yeah.
by the looks of all the product placement. Um, he's with his daughter, Rainey Rodriguez, who is like, isn't, I thought she was like in her 20s.
Oh, his daughter?
Yeah, not in the movie, but I thought she was a lot older than high school age, but probably. Um, so he's with his daughter Rainey, and she's Maya Blart in the film. They're there for a mall cop security guard convention or whatever, and
God, I can almost hear the anger in your voice right now. Like, you sound so. Do you mind if I take over? Do you
no,
mind?
go right ahead.
Okay, so look, the first Paul Blart, like, the thing is, like, so he worked at the mall. Uh, he's been there for years. He kept trying to pass the police exam, but he has that disease where if he doesn't have,
Glycemic.
yeah, where he just passes out when he doesn't have sugar, and it's
Like
just
he and like there's a point in this movie where he like falls down and starts sleeping in mid run. Like that's just a little taste of the movie right there.
yeah,
Like they're saying that it kicks in and he like is on the floor, tripping and falling and sleeping on his way down.
and just for the record, one thing that really pissed me off about the first one is why wouldn't you just always have something like that, like something with you with sugar? If you know it's that bad, like, come on, dude, like, have like,
It's just another wrench to throw in. That's just all it,
yeah.
and it's so transparent, and that's what most of this movie is.
What bugged me about this is that this movie should have just been called "I'm Fat" because that's all the jokes were. It's like,
It's
oh
true.
hey, I'm fat, and oh
Oh,
man, isn't it funny how fat I am? Oh look, we're gonna take Die Hard and literally do shot for shot scenes, but instead of John McClane climbing the vent, it's this really big fat guy, and the vent falls and knocks out two people. It's like, oh, this movie, like that was the first one, and so he saves them all, and it is that thing where it's practically Home Alone because it's like the burglars would just shot that fucking kid like as soon as they
yeah,
saw him.
yeah.
Like you have to like suspend your disbelief a little bit. It's like, okay, these robbers apparently like if they're black robbers, that kid would have would have been shot just straight up. But and and him trying to protect them all in the first one, these kids are doing like BMX tricks, and you're just like, oh my god, just get your shit and leave. Like, stop showing off. But this movie, so he saves them
Oh,
all. He gets married to oh god, what's her name? I want to say it's Jamie Mays, I think is her name. Um, I'm trying to look it up here. Let's see.
she should be listed in the second one, right? Because she was there at the very
Yeah,
beginning.
but she's Jama Mays, yeah,
Yeah.
as Amy, and that was another thing. She works at a shop called Unbelievable in the first movie, and I was just like, oh fuck you, movie, like seriously. But anyways, so they get married at the end. Again, very implausible, but it's Hollywood. So the second one starts off with them getting divorced. They were married for what, 6 days? I think the movie says.
Yeah, 6 days.
And then this movie, so they get divorced. Again, 6 days, and then his mom gets killed in some of the worst CG. You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that CG from Neighbors where Seth Rogen sits on the chair and he like hits
Yep.
the ceiling? Like, but like as bad as that CG was, and believe me, it was really bad. At least the joke was funny, so I was like, okay, I can kind of forgive this. But the mom gets hit by a milk truck, and you're just like, fuck, seriously, movie? Like, are you even trying? But the movie's like, oh, isn't that funny? The mom gets hit by a milk truck. Milk trucks aren't really around anymore. Ha ha ha. And it's just like, okay. And so that sets up the dynamic between him and his daughter, being just down to the two of them. And oh my gosh, like, how are they gonna, are they gonna grow closer? Or is her impending wanting to leave to go to school, is that gonna drive a wedge between them? It's just like, oh my god, like, So he goes to this convention, and he's there. No one has addressed apparently him saving them all, but you would think it would have been on local news or something. But apparently there's like, oh well, you saved them all from these people who were trying to rob it.
Well, they did.
Whatever.
One of the guys, other security guard, was like, "Oh yeah, you're that one guy. What do you think you're cool?" It was like 6 years ago. So they do address that.
They address it, but like the logic that he wouldn't have gotten something for it. I mean, I'm not saying he would have gotten like a key to the city or anything like that, but you know what I mean. Like the fact that
I guess.
that nothing would happen. It's like, okay, that's a little stupid, but sure, whatever. And so he's there for his conference, and Shogger, these new guys are trying to steal this art, which they don't really explain. Like, I guess they're just stealing art and replacing it with fakes, but I don't even think they even said they're replacing it with fakes. I think they're just stealing the art, which, you would think someone would notice that, but whatever. And so that's the plot of this. So it's up to Paul Blart to, rise up again like a
So
phoenix.
yeah, there just happens to be these robbers and trying to rob the Wynn like the exact same day that the convention is, basically. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
oh, here we go. What is he gonna do?
yeah, the thing is, this movie didn't take place in Vegas. It took place in Coincidence City. Because seriously, like everything that happens in this movie is you can set your watch to it. So, his daughter Maya, of course, she meets a boy again, and
Who was completely out of her league, by the way.
yeah.
That was not believable to me at
See,
all.
okay, now I will call you on that because I actually think that. Oh God, you're gonna make me defend this movie, but like, I hate you right now for making this, but I think she's really sweet, and I don't know, I found her.
She wasn't. I had nothing to do with her acting. I would say. It wasn't a believable connection that they made. It was like, oh hey, I'm a boy and you're a girl. Like it was seriously instantaneously when they got to that hotel. Boom. The first thing that she sees is a boy, and it's like, oh, here we go.
Okay, now that I will agree with you on, but I mean, I think that she was like one of those people who, like, I mean, look, I mean, as much as I get confused for young Denzel all the time, but I mean, I know, like, but like, a lot of girls I'm dating, I'm like, okay, you're at least a 9, and I'm like a 6, like if I'm being like just straight up in looks department. But I mean, so I was like, she's charming. I think that goes a long way. What made me kind of laugh is this guy is such a fucking pussy. I was like, oh my God, like
Yeah, I like how they threw that in, to be honest.
I did too, but I was just like, but I was kind of like, it almost like she was kind of, I don't want to say she encouraged it, but she was kind of okay with it, and I was like, you should slap this guy in the face and never talk to him again. But I don't know, so that aspect kind of bothered me, but. Look, I mean, I thought Maya was charming. Kevin James in this, God help me, man. He's so bad in this. Like every kind of gimmick that they have, it's so bad in this. And the villain in this, by the way, is Vincent, played by Neil McDonough, who. It kills me that he's in this because I really like him as an actor, and I was just like, oh, you're in this. That makes me really sad. He was in Justified. He was the bad guy in Justified on season. Oh God, I don't say season. It was season 4, season 5, and he was fucking awesome. And he's been in a bunch of good shit. And so to see him in this, I was just like, okay, this is. And they give him this kind of physical thing, which only serves as a joke later on, and I'm just like, God, movie.
And like even the part they wrote him in, like, was bad too. It's like he wasn't even able to. Because I agree with you. I like him, and he plays a great kind of bad guy character. But he's just like, there's an exchange between him and Kevin James towards the end of the movie, and they're like yelling at each other, and it was like painful to like watch them go back and forth. And oh man, It almost just makes you angry that they waste talent. Like in these, like Adam Sandler produced this thing, surprisingly enough,
It's
and
all on his
like,
shitty, Happy
yeah,
Madison line. Yeah, but yeah,
just
and
wasting actors. I don't know.
yeah, and Neil Madonna, he played. If this is a point of reference for you, which it should be, he was a Dum Dum Dugan, who's one of the guys in Captain America's freaking uh, troop in the first Captain America.
Yep, yep.
Like, yeah, he was awesome on there, and he was in Justified, he was in Walking Tall, and he was awesome in that. He was in Minority Report. He's been in a bunch of good shit, and it's just like, it's like, why are you in this? This makes me really depressed. So look, it, this is the thing. There's, pardon me. There's a couple good actors in here, like Anna Gasteyer. Used to be on Saturday Night Live. She's that wife of one of the kind of the other security guards that he meets, and she gave me a couple laughs because she was pretty much playing like Kathy Lee Gifford because she was like drunk the whole time, and I was like, okay, that kind of made me laugh. There's a guy named like, I swear to God, this is his name. His actual name is Eduardo, and I'm gonna butcher this, Verastigi, and he literally plays a guy named Eduardo in the movie, and I was just like, oh wow. It's
It
like,
says on IMDb his acting, his character's name is Eduardo Furtillo, and he's Eduardo Furtillo as Eduardo Verastegui, which is his real name. He's a character playing himself.
yeah, and that was the one thing I will actually say that kind of made me laugh, is because he was just such a dick to Paul Blart, and I was like, you know what? Just because I'm not able to be an asshole to you, because unfortunately I can't jump through the screen and just yell "fuck you" as loud as I can. At least this guy's able to do it. Now there's one thing, and I don't even see a picture for her here. I think it's this girl named Daniela Alonso. I think the girl she plays Divina. There's so many people in here that they just don't flush out. It really doesn't fucking matter. But she was in this, and I think that's the girl who says like in the beginning, like, oh, you have really soft hands, and he's like, okay, like, don't hit on me. And it's this literal thread throughout the whole movie that every time they brought it up, I just rolled my eyes. I was just like, oh my god, like Paul Blart's just like, look, you're being like way like you're being desperate. Like, stop trying to hit on me. And I'm just like really. And then
And that's
she falls for him, and I'm just sitting there like, give me a fucking break, like. and and so, spoiler alert in case you give a shit, but at the end of the movie, she's like, I'm in love with you, Paul Blart. I'm in love with you. And he's like, look, Eduardo actually like helped save all of us. You're in love with him. And she's like, you're right. There is like, this girl is hot. There is no goddamn way that Paul Blart, looking the way he looks and being as much of a goober as he is, would have been like, oh yeah, that guy's more in love with you than I am. There's no way.
Well, I was 100% with you on that, but I was gonna bring this up. But when afterwards, like she kisses him, walks away, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, that might have been a bad choice." I was like, "Okay, at least they sort of acknowledged that." But I was 100% with you up to that point.
I don't care. Like, it's that thing, like, because that's such a cheap writer's trick. It's like when on like kids movies, when there's like aliens talking to kids and they go like, "Oh, you recognize my language. Oh, you recognize my language." It's like, "Oh, we addressed it in the writer's room, so that makes it okay." It's like, no, it doesn't make it okay. That's a lazy writer's trick, and they do that on movies like this all the goddamn time, and I'm so sick of it. It's like, just because you explain something doesn't mean it makes it okay or any less shitty. And I'm just sitting there, like, no, no, movie. To quote Paramore, I refuse, I refuse. I am not buying this shit anymore. So, look, okay, there's one laugh I got. Actually, there's two. I got two actual laughs in this movie. So, there's this point where, and it's such a cheap laugh, but I was laughing pretty hard, is where Paul Blart thinks one of the bad guys is coming around a corner, so he swings and he punches this old lady maid like in the side. That was actually something. I was like old people getting hurt always makes me laugh. Like it's so cheap, and like it's not funny. Like a good joke, but this lady's just like, oh my goodness, and she like falls down, and I was like, all I was hearing in my head is, I've fallen and I can't get up, and it made me laugh. So I was like, okay, not a clever joke, but at least I got something there. And then the second one, oh god, and it was such a cheesy joke. It was such a cheesy pun. It just reminded me of something I would say, and I could hear like I could just see you look at me rolling your eyes, and I knew the part. I knew when you saw us, you'd roll your eyes. And so there's this point where this assassin's like hunting Paul Blart down, and very early on, because Paul Bart's so fat, they're like, "Oh, I have this vibrating fork that slows me down from eating, so I don't eat too fast." And as soon as you see it, you're like, he's gonna use it as a weapon at some point. And there's no like, it's the old Hitchcock rule. It's like if you see a gun in the movie, it's getting used by someone at some point. And so this assassin,
That was so dir. This
so
is the
so
dirtiest thing
so
I've
this
ever seen.
so this assassin's been chasing him, and so Paul Blart makes a bow out of it with the fork on the end. And I think the line he says like, looks like we've come to a fork in the road, and I was just like, oh god, that's so bad.
The way he makes this is he pulls the end off of his vibrating fork he has and shoves it into like an electrical line, just a random electrical line
Correct,
he pulls
yeah.
out of nowhere, shoots it at the bad guy, and it electrocutes him, all with that horrible line. And it's just, ugh, you could feel my eyes roll from over there in Reno.
Dude, I could. And I'm gonna tell you right now, my eyes rolled, but I laughed because I thought about you watching the scene, and I could just hear you
You
going like,
jerk.
I could just hear you going, God damn it, like this movie's so bad. But I could like, look, this movie, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm getting less forgiving on these kids' movies because we just watched SpongeBob, and SpongeBob, it was insane. Like, admittedly, it's one of the craziest kids' movies I've ever seen. But I was at least entertained most of the way through it, and there was actually stuff that genuinely made me laugh. So it's not like you can't make a good PG movie and not be Pixar, because that seems to be an excuse everyone uses. Like, oh, well, we can't all be Pixar. It's like, you can at least try. Like, God, like, damn it. Like, kids deserve better than this. I mean, look.
I didn't think that this was a kids movie. Do you think this was a kids movie?
I mean, like, I think it's so dumb it could only be targeted at kids. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Because, like, look, I mean, you've seen the shit that they peddle out to kids now. I mean, fucking Oogie Loves. That was one of the first reviews we did. It's like, they don't care. It's like, look, it's like, oh, as long as we put, like, dumb things in it, like, like a bird that randomly, like, or whatever it was, the peacock that, hits a human. Like, oh, kids will laugh at that because they're kids. They're snot-nosed little brats. What the fuck do they know about it?
I hate the stupid, like, that's what I hate about it, is like they just take you for a stupid audience. Like, it's a little like goose looking bird like puts his wings up and I kick it in the face. Like that doesn't happen. That doesn't like
I know.
attack. It just like makes you honestly just to I don't want to jump ahead, but like I was not angry coming off of this movie. I was just like a dumb movie that, Adam Sandler puts out, kind of a deal, and I wasn't mad at it, but talking about it right now is getting me angry about it.
See, the thing is, man, as I was watching it, I paused it at least 17 times. Because I was just sitting there, I'm like, it is unbelievable. And Kevin James co-wrote this. So I'm like, this is even more on you. Like, I can't even, like, be like, oh, well, you just took this to be Adam Sandler's friend. It's like, no. You are part of the problem, good sir. So I can put this shit on you. And all I was thinking is, man, if this is the best writing you can bring to the table, damn, you need to.
And just to give you a taste, the other writer, Nick Bakay,
Yeah.
he's done Zookeeper as well.
Oh,
He
nice.
did King of Queens, so that's probably why.
Okay, that makes sense.
And what surprisingly, he did Angry Beavers, which I enjoyed.
I enjoy Angry Beavers, so that makes me
Yeah.
feel like, what the fuck happened between Angry Beavers and this?
Lately, he has just been dropping the ball.
Yeah, I mean, or like those beavers, he's not giving a damn. But see what I did there.
Oh, that was bad. I mean, that was bad.
You know, that was better than most of the jokes that were in this. So you can say,
Yeah, that's actually pretty refreshing.
thank you. but but to get to our ratings though, I was watching this, and anytime his daughter was on, so look, I'm gonna tell you right now, this was at like the lowest C minus possible, about a third of the way through, and then it dropped down to a D, and then it dropped down to a D minus, and it dropped to an F, and I was really sitting there and like, I'm really trying, because it's like, look, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm really trying to not give this a go fuck yourself, just because I feel like that's kind of predictable to a point, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy where just like, oh, it's a Paul Blart movie, go fuck yourself. But there is this part where I went, oh, there's no escaping to go fuck yourself. So allow me to indulge me here. And this is a spoiler for the end of the movie. Keep listening. You're not you're not gonna be missing anything. But so there's this part where he's talking to his daughter, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet this boy, whatever his name was. I can't even remember.
Lane.
Lane. Oh, that was it. Thank you. And he's like, oh yeah, do you have everything? Do you have like your pepper spray? Do you have your road flares? Do you have? And he names off all these items. And so as soon as he named off all these items, I'm like, God damn it! It's like she's gonna use these things at some point to escape when she gets captured, which is inevitable. And I was like, oh, well, that's really lazy. And of course, like clockwork, when they get captured, it's like, oh, my dad gave me this. It's like, it's like you just don't give a shit, do
And she
you?
doesn't use any of them. Like she does. Oh, I'm getting more angry about this movie because the way she uses a phone battery to help them escape is the dumbest, most lazy thing I've almost ever seen in a movie. Like, oh man, that was infuriating.
It really was one of those things where I was just like, you know, it's like even MacGruber would be like, wow, guys, like step up a little bit, like don't be this lazy. It was really bad, and the way that the bad guy gets defeated, it was one of those things like they bring up this one thing about him. I was like, oh god. I'm like, okay, well now I know how the movie's gonna end, and it literally ends in just the most. Yeah, this is, in case you couldn't tell, I just talked about The Loft yesterday. This will be joining it on the list, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know which one I hate more, but this just, it really, really tests my patience. I haven't walked out of a movie or honestly stopped watching a movie in a while. Well, actually, that's not true. Jupiter Ascending, but I usually finish my movies like 99.9% of the time. But this really tested my resolve as far as, am I gonna finish this, or I'm just gonna stop and say like, yep, just go fuck yourself. I got an hour in. Good night, everybody. This was a go fuck yourself. This made me really angry, and man, Kevin James just. And he's gonna be in Pixels this weekend, which I'm just like, oh god, that's right, Pixels comes out. I'm gonna have to go see that and, and sacrifice my time to see another shitty Kevin James movie. So,
And this, oh man, Pixels. I feel like Pixels could be the cool movie without certain people in it too.
yeah, but you know who's involved though. So,
Right. No, I know.
what's your grade, Scott?
Yeah, so I honestly didn't come away angry from it. I think if I probably would have saw the first one and then this one, I might have a different opinion. But just extremely predictable. Lots of fat jokes. I hate movies where the main character is just like oblivious to everything, and like it's like really frustrating to watch. It's not like It's not funny in any way to me. And when he was not getting that she was coming on to him, or she thought she wasn't coming on to him, and then the way that turned around at the end, I was just like really bad. The straw that kind of broke the camel's back for it was just some of the bad one-liners, and one of them was near the end. He goes, "You always bet on Blart,"
Oh yeah.
and that was just like, ugh.
I forgot about that one because I remember when I heard it, I remember my exact reaction was, Jesus fucking Christ, it was so bad. And I've been trying so hard, Lord forgive me, I've been trying so hard not to use Lord's name in vain, but that was the only thing I could think of that would fit how I felt in that moment. It was just like, God.
It is just bad, and honestly,
Oh my middle point.
he
So
I hadn't seen the other movie he was in where he's a teacher. Here Comes the Boom.
Oh my God, I'm sitting there thinking about it because I remember I had a pillow by me and I just screamed into it. I was like, oh my God, because I just imagined them in the writing room like when they wrote that always bet on Bart, like, oh my God, isn't that brilliant? And just being like, ugh. But I'm sorry, continue.
It's all right. I saw the previews for Here Comes the Boom. I'm like, oh yeah, he can. He looks like that might be an okay movie. And then like this came, and I was like, for the first third, he wasn't like pissing me off or anything. But just as the obliviousness came and went, and as like the one-liners came and went, just like kind of exhausting by the end of the movie. I was just so. It was like coming up for air, like, thank God it's over. Like, oh man.
So
I was on the border, but I think you gotta give it a go fuck yourself. Like you can't, and I'm totally with you. You can't. I don't like being just like the stereotypical. This Adam Sandler movie must be, and we rip Adam Sandler movies,
we do
because they deserve it. But like. I don't want us to be those people that are just like, stamp next kind of a deal. But, it made me angry talking about it now, and I don't like being angry when I watch movies. So, because me, I'm not an angry person.
Oh no.
So yeah, that'd be my lowest, and it'll probably be on my bottom 10, bottom 5.
I gotta tell you right now though, there was a point where I was like, I would rather be watching 50 Shades right now. Like, I actually had that thought just like about 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, at least 50 Shades, I could be drunk and just laugh at it. But this movie isn't even giving me anything to like make fun of because it's just so ineptly made. I'm just like, golly, movie, just like, oh man.
There's another scene I remember where he has the glycemia or whatever, and he falls mid-run, face plant, and there's a shot on him, and he's snoring like he's sleeping. So like, finally wakes up, which is another very lazy writer tool there. And to get his sugar fix, he he sees a young family and the child is holding an ice cream cone that's dripping, and he like snake crawls underneath it and like starts. There's like a good minute of him just like getting all of it. It's oh man, so much eye rolling.
And you know what's weird is I was sitting there, I'm like, God, like this is really awkward. They're gonna cut this soon, and it felt like it went on forever. I'm like, oh my God, edit this, cut this now, and it's just like, and then the other thing is like, what parent is that oblivious? Like, dude, I feel people walking behind me all the time, and I immediately turn around. I'm like, really? Like, no parent would look down and be like, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get away from my child. It's like. But no, the dad's just like, oh look, let me look at this fountain just long enough for him to scoot away. Just like, I'm. Oh man.
Yeah, we need to stop talking about this because
Yeah. I'm sorry.
it's
I'm getting
this is
upset.
no good.
Yeah, I'm getting upset all over again. I'm start talking about Kevin James, but so yeah, guys, did you see either the Paul Blart classics?
We hope not, because not only is it horrible, we spoiled it.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. There's nothing to spoil, but uh, the script was spoiled, but whatever. But yeah, guys, let us know what you thought if you did. Unfortunately, watch this. Uh, the one thing I will say about this movie, this would be a good movie to get drunk at with your friends and just kind of do a riff track on it. You know what I mean? Just like talk shit about it.
Right.
But that's the only purpose this movie serves. Like, do not pay. Don't buy this. God help you, don't buy this. Like, red box it at best. But yeah, guys, let us know what you thought. Subscribe to us on our SoundCloud at the Real Pineapple 775. Follow me on the Twitter at jhunterrealpineapple, and follow Scott on Twitter at
Sandman90.
and follow us on Facebook at the Real Pineapple, guys. And let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys want to hear. If you guys have there's like entertainment news you want to talk about for broadcast or like that, definitely let us know. We love to get suggestions. And you guys have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.